So now playing out of the USA, of course, former Indonesian player. We join the final in the early stages. It's 2-all. Poul-Erik is serving. Well, they're a supreme example of this man's tactical awareness. I said after his last serve, when he served high, was that the right thing to do? He immediately changed it and had a different outcome to the rally.
Again, it's the quality of the net shot which really works for Poul-Erik Hoyer, but it is noticeable how he really hasn't given Peter Gade too much time at the back of the court, because when he does, as we saw again on a high serve, Peter Gade is going to bury it 9 times out of 10.
Well, with both these men, anything that's not perfect is going to be severely punished. A net cord first from Gade, and then a reply doing exactly the same from Poul-Erik.
With the focus in his eyes, keeps his eye on the shuttle, just steers it cross court.
Oh, that's amazing. Great reflexes.
The lift is short. Peter Gade gets behind it, jumps up and into the shuttle and brings it down very steeply.
It appears to me as if Poul-Erik is trying to rush Peter Gade, playing a lot of shots towards his body, not giving him the freedom to play his own strokes.
Shows that Poul-Erik Hoyer really is very confident with the way that he's playing, because Peter Gade really learned his trade in the doubles, a former world junior doubles champion, and often when he's especially playing the Asian players, tends to dominate the game from that mid-court area. But Poul-Erik using his experience that we've talked about to narrow the angles by playing the shuttle at the centre of the court and is winning those fast interchanges.
Oh, yet again, exactly the same tactic. Oh, that's a great backhand. A lot of pressure here in his home country for Gade. Of course, both these finalists are Danes, but so much expectation of this young man, world #1. The crowd so desperately wanted him to win the World Championships played in Copenhagen earlier this year. In fact, both these men ending up with a bronze medal. He's fully thought about it. Good decision in the end to leave it a fraction long of that back line. Oh, it's landed in. Great retrieving there from Poul-Erik. It's amazing, Anthony. I mean, the guy's 34, he's reigning Olympic champion. He's going to play for one more year. Wants to try and retain his Olympic title. Good anticipation from Gade. But really, he must be an inspiration to so many players. At the age of 34, being so high up in the world ranking and still playing so well.
That's right. I think he's one of these players that loves to set himself challenging goals. And in order to achieve that, it really drives him on to really look after his body, train with a lot of discipline and quality, and still produce the goods.
Of course, for the past 3 years, he's based his training in England at Milton Keynes. Last month, moved back to Denmark. Is that a help or a hindrance, the fact that these two will practice together every day?
I think quite definitely it's going to be a help to play players of this quality in training is going to develop their matches.
So it's going to help both of them as individuals?
Quite definitely they're going to develop not only in playing each other in this particular style of play, but also they can learn about each other, which may well help them in these competitive situations.
Gade very quickly off the mark. That return of serve. While the shuttle clipping the lights at the top of the stadium here in the circus building. That's deemed a fault. Oh, that's incredible.
Look how,
accuracy and skill.
and it's the way that he attacks the shuttle by taking it so early, which enabled him to play it so tight to the tape.
Yeah, and in contrast, taking the shuttle late, didn't have the same control. One or two errors just creeping into the game of Poul-Erik. That's a great lift from the Olympic champion.
Taking it so low and still managing to push it flat, causing Peter Gade a little bit of indecision at the rear court.
Yes, maybe slipping slightly on the court surface, but he was wrong-footed. slices across the feathers, bringing the shuttle down so steeply across court. Still adrift in this opening game, Peter Gade, but having knocked his face down at the side of the court, returns to court without his racket. Believe it. Well, Angela, you said you thought that the net play might be crucial in this match. Well, you won't see any better than that. I'm not quite sure if he was rushed on that, or was that just careless?
He seemed to move away from the stroke before completing it, really in anticipation of the drive that would have come back at him.
Well, from 8-5 up in this opening game, finding himself 8-11 down. And I do wonder why he persists with that high serve when Gade is really picking his mark.
You can see where Peter Gade's feet are actually landing, but Poul-Erik really isn't hitting that serve of sufficient length. Probably a good 2 feet short of the back line, so if he is going to do that high serve, he must get the shuttle falling vertically on the back line.
Brilliant. Anticipated so well. Rushed it off the top of the tape. That is phenomenal. Well, he worked him so well, pushing the left-hander from one side of the court to the other. Brilliant. Left-hander's deception. You've got to be such an athlete to be able to play a shot like that. Next from the base position in court. He's missed it. Disappointment, obvious. Game points. And the error on the return of serve. And the world number one, Peter Gade, takes the opening game against the reigning Olympic champion, Poul-Erik Hoyer, 15-11. Welcome back. We rejoin the match in the very early stages of the second game. Poul-Erik serving 3-2. Now, I did wonder towards the end of that first game, Anthony, whether perhaps Poul-Erik was trying to play too many shots across court and he was playing himself into trouble.
Quite definitely. You can always play across court. It's a good option when you're going to hit a winning shot. If, however, the player on the base can intercept it, then you're going to be put under a lot of pressure.
Well, it was a very ambitious shot to try. Gade playing this one round the head. Perhaps should have tried to play the backhand. They did very well indeed to retrieve that one. Well, perhaps a little unlucky there, Gade. Poul-Erik was backing away from the net. He's done it again.
One thing that Poul-Erik could also employ with these high serves, you notice this one goes quite wide in the court, and that gives Peter Gade the option of going straight or cross court. He was to launch the serves up the middle of the court, and that would narrow down Peter Gade's winning opportunities.
Oh, amazing. Well, certainly the work rate from Peter Gade since he was 5-8 down in that opening game to win the first game and then the early stages of the second. He's working so hard on court, desperately trying to retrieve every shuttle. Well, somehow the Olympic champion has got to stop his opponent from being able to hit these winners from the back of the court. Now, that presumably is easier said than done.
As we saw it at the very start of the match, Poul-Erik Hoyer did it so well, lifting flat and deep into the back corners. But what we're seeing now is Gade's game has increased in intensity. He's making Poul-Erik Hoyer take the shuttle later, and that's why Poul-Erik's now struggling to put Peter Gade on that same amount of pressure.
That's very well taken. Well, I guess he's aware that the few opportunities he gets to try and attack himself, he's got to make the most of. about the first one he's missed all match.
That'll be very frustrating for Peter Gade because of the quality of those strokes. They don't have to be close to the line to be winners.
Well, we saw glimpses of that in the opening game. Both men quite happy to play the fast, flat game. Oh, disappointment, he was there. Wow. One or two errors now from the world number one. And another. Perhaps a little too anxious to finish off this match too quickly and perhaps going for his winners too early in the rally.
I think so. What we're seeing is Poul-Erik Hoyer now picking up these downward shots. Peter Gade just not reacting to that in the correct manner, trying to then perhaps play the next shot too tight in order to finish the rally. Must remain patient.
Oh, my word. Well, my goodness. Well, looking at that again and my initial reaction, I have to say from our commentary position here, we're looking straight down that line. My reaction was that was out.
Clearly see Poul-Erik Hoyer anticipating the net shot, had started to move, perhaps slightly distracted by the line call previously. Peter Gade just flicked it over his head.
Well, Gade apologising. There was nothing to apologise for. He knew his net shot had to be tight. So that was the one that did the damage. Poul-Erik pulled out of position, also lifting short. And Gade back on level terms. 9-all in this second game.
Good cross-court lift from Gade. What it did, it made the big man twist. And he was late onto the shuttle. Made the kill easy.
Oh, just a fraction wide. And the body language of Poul-Erik showing the disappointment. Well, I think back to that line call that I thought was perhaps not a good one. Had that shuttle been called out, that would have put Poul-Erik at 10-6 up. But in sport, you can't live on what might have been. Oh, it's landed in. Well, Gade was in a position to have played that. Well, that a measure of the man. You make an error of judgment, previous rally, and then smacks a smash right down onto the line. Oh, it's cat and mouse at the moment.
First flat interchange of the match that we've seen Peter Gade win. It's come at a very crucial moment.
Well, it was a great drop shot. Perhaps Poul-Erik a little bit slow to react. Well, the tension very apparent. Not getting the long rallies. Well, once again, one of these two going for the outright winner. Well, the lift was short. That's incredible.
Very positive play from Poul-Erik. Look where he takes that shuttle. A chassé step and a jump and a quick interception.
Oh. Well, you don't often see this man playing a high backhand. Well, when he does, if he can produce shots like that. What a return. Both men really keeping their play very tight indeed. Oh, it's just wide. Well, a little look from Peter Gade there towards the crowd. Disappointments. Yet again, the work rate from Gade, supreme. Total commitment. And it's brought him match points. And that's it. Peter Gade has beaten the Olympic champion 15-11, 15-11. And really, his performance throughout this tournament, well, no wonder he's the world number one. Great athletes. Always calm in a crisis. Runner-up last year, but this year the champion of the Copenhagen Masters. 15-11, 15-11. So congratulations to Peter Gade. Coming up next after the break, Camilla Martin, the world champion, up against Tang Chun-Yu.